For me, homeschooling is a part of life. It is how we function. It's how we flow. And today, I'm going to walk you through what our overall big picture of how our homeschool schedule is set up, as well as how we do it on a daily basis. Welcome to Plan, Prep, Pray. Hey girlie, my name is Wendy and I am a homeschooling mom of 4 little ones, and on this channel I talk about productivity tips, methods, and resources because peaceful presence can be found when we are good stewards of our time. So we homeschool year-round. We find that homeschooling year-round allows us to have a lot of freedom and a lot of structure. That means that I can set a plan, stick with it, and if our children for any reason we want to follow our children's lead because they want to learn more about something, or they want to dive deeper into anything, we are able to slow down and focus on what they need without fear that we are falling behind or that we have to finish something. So we find that by homeschooling year round, we have a lot more time. We have a lot more freedom. If there's a day where it's not necessarily somebody's sick, it's not necessarily there's a doctor's appointment, it's not necessarily that the world is falling apart, but we still want to take a day off because we just need a break, we're able to do that. We have the luxury and the freedom to take off when we need to take off because we're not scheduled to a particular 30-week block. So I love the fact that yes, I can follow my child's lead. Also, I can follow certain standards that are quote unquote set by society or by the public school system or whatever the situation is. I can follow those certain standards and I can follow their lead. And so for me, it's not one or the other, it's both. And I am able to do that because of the fact that I homeschool year round. So I get a lot that you're using a ton of curriculum. Your son is doing 3 maths. What? How is that even possible? And it is this homeschooling year round that allows me to do a ton of curriculum if I want to. Because the thing is, the curriculum is a tool. And when I really discovered that, when I really dived deeper into that, I realized I am not controlled by it. Meaning, I use it to further expand our knowledge, and I pull back when we need to pull back, and I rev up when we need to rev up. It is my tool. It is my guide. It is not my ruler. It does not control me. If the curriculum says to do this, I don't have to do it if I don't want to. If the curriculum says to do that, I don't have to do it because I'm the teacher. And so once I discovered that, I found that by using more curriculums, I can fill in gaps that I see, or where I lack, I can kind of use the curriculum to help make me smarter, if that makes sense. And by homeschooling year round, I am able to use more curriculums because I got 365 days, So pretty much what that looks like for me is we never stop. We never stop homeschooling. Homeschooling is a part of life. It's a part of our routine. We are continuously learning, and I don't think I can ever go back. When we have too much of a break, things get out of control. Technology starts to take over. Attitudes start to change. Things start to be chaotic. And so this way, the way that we've incorporated homeschool into our everyday, it's just what we do. This way works for us. We get to live more in the moments. So this is a collaboration hosted by yours truly, of course, who's the scheduler I am. So this is a homeschool schedule collaboration. And one thing that I've found over the years is that I can do something one way, she can do something another, and your way can be found beautifully in the in between and in the mixture of the wisdom of other homeschooling mamas out there. And so there's going to be a playlist linked in the description full of just moms that do it different. We are not all one cut from the same cloth, one piece of the same cloth, one cut from, we're not all the same. All right, we're not all the same. And so there's a lot of wisdom to be gleaned from every single one of us. So definitely check out the playlist and see how all the homeschooling mamas are doing it. And you might even discover some ways you didn't even think of before. All right, so let's talk about a daily schedule. My children thrive, and I mean thrive, off of a routine. They thrive off of knowing what to expect, when to expect it. They thrive off of the stability that a routine provides them. Now, that's not to say that they love a rigid schedule like the military. No, that's not true. There is time for exploring. There is time for discovery. And there is a beautiful balance in between strict schedules and exploring and discovery. And that is routines, at least in our home. So everything is in balance, everything in its time. Block scheduling has worked beautifully for us. And so let's talk about what our daily schedule would look like. So we have a set homeschool block where we sit down and we do our homeschool time. That time is between 10 and 1 o'clock. We sit down and we always start off with reading the Bible. How we do Bible is, it's pretty much a part of our life. It's every day, it's all the time, and it's constantly talked about. So we wake up in the morning and we do our devotionals. Right before we start school, we open with a devotional or reading the Bible. At quiet time, I have special just Bible reading with me and my older children. At night, we have special time where we open up the Bible and read with Daddy. We pray before every meal, and my son reads the Action Bible for fun. Like, has it always been that way? No, but I have learned that if it's not a part of your life, it's not a part of your life, you know? I have learned that by just sprinkling in the Bible everywhere, it helps to keep it at the forefront of your mind a lot better. It's more easily accessible. It comes natural to open up the Bible when there is a tiff in our house or when there is a struggle in our house, because it's just what we do. It's not a big deal. It's not this big show. It's just a part of life. You know, what does the Bible say about that? And that's a question that's being asked. That's the question that needs answering. So rather than going to man or going to Google or going to other people or even going to mommy and daddy first, open up your word, see what God has to say about it, and then use your discernment to try to figure it out. And we do it together, you know, because that's something that needs to be taught. So how did I get down this tangent? Let me bring it back. So productivity wise, being a good steward of your time wise, when it comes to homeschooling, we kind of do the same thing like what we do with Bible. There's always an opportunity to learn. To me, as we do chores in the morning, that's schooling. That's home economics, okay? So they've got their chores in the morning. We go outside and explore, and they get dirty and they dig in things and they run around and ask questions. Mom, look at this bug. What is that? Oh my gosh, don't let it touch me. You know what I mean? So they do nature study at a certain block when we go outside. Then when we come inside and we sit down, and the way that we do that time, the way that time is structured is that's the time that I'm getting down on the floor after we do like our group Bible study and read aloud time and the stuff that we do all together, that's the time that the older ones, they go off and they do their independent work. They do their explode the code or their geography and their just anything that they can do on their own, handwriting, those types of things that don't really require me, and typing, all the things, okay? And then I sit down with the two little ones, and it's preschool time, okay? We're opening up the full preschool, and I'm bringing out the Montessori bins, and we're doing the Good and the Beautiful pre-K, and we're getting Play-Doh on our hands and doing all the messy things, and just loving on the little ones and just really giving them that one-on-one attention that helps them to thrive. Not all little ones need a structured curriculum in their pre-K years, but all of them need the special one-on-one time that comes from just nurturing and pouring into them, reading aloud to them, just them, and playing with just them and stuff like that. So that's a special homeschool time with my little ones. While my older ones get much needed independent work, I think it's important that children learn how to work independently. Like, I am raising them to be masters of their own education, to want to seek knowledge and to learn more, to want to seek knowledge and to learn more, and not to 100% depend on somebody to teach them, to have the ability and the skills necessary to be able to teach themselves. And even as young as 6 years old, just the practice of working without me is important. So they go and they do that. We come back together for lunch after that time, and during lunch we're doing some more read alouds as well. And then after that we're doing some My Father's World. Once we're done with all that stuff, the little ones go down for that nap time. Hallelujah for nap time. I'm going to be very sad when nap time goes away, but let's not think about those dreadful things. So we sit down, they go down for their naps. I was doing that whole separate naps and having, my baby sleep twice a day and then the toddler sleep in that. They both go down together, all right? So I put them down together, and they're down for 2 hours now. At this time, it's time for me and my two older ones to sit down and for me to just love on them and pour into them education-wise. And so we do Truth and Grace memory book together, followed by language. So I have one working on whatever part of their language arts and their math that they can do on their own, while I work with the other, and then I switch them out and I just pour into them, give them that one-on-one focused attention. I find that as they get older, they do need that time, as well as, independent, learning how to work on their own, but they do need that time where they can ask me questions without a little one running around. So that is my method, is to do it during nap time. I was waking them up early, but that really didn't work for their schedule. It didn't work. But that's another thought. If you'd like to try something like that, maybe waking your older ones up early before the other ones get up. My older ones just weren't having it, and I'm all about letting kids sleep. So instead of working in the afternoon, I now work in the early morning, and I work with them in the afternoon. So I work on them with them during their independent work. Altogether, this is maybe an hour. Once that is done, then we cuddle up on the couch. Not gonna lie, sometimes I take a nap. But this is the time that I want to read with them. I want them to see me open up a book and read it, which for a long time I wasn't doing with them. Like, I'll go to my room, close my door, I'm gonna go read, I'll go to sleep or whatever. But I wanted them to see me reading with them, so I sit down on the couch and I read with them. They're reading their own books, I'm reading my books, and it's just a quiet reading time, teaching them how to do quiet reading time. So we're sitting down, I'm reading, they're reading. Sometimes I fall asleep, I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes they do too. So that is honored and protected. So by now, at 2 o'clock, the way my house is set up, 2 to 4, snack time. I have a list of snacks that they can have, and not only can they have it, but they can make it on their own, as long as they clean up, but that's their snack time. So by 2:30, my older ones have probably already had a snack, and 2:30, 3 o'clock is when my younger ones are starting to wake up, and so they start to get up. Now it's 3 o'clock, okay? 3 o'clock, cooking, deep clean time, okay? So we pick one room a day that we deep clean all together as a family, and we blitz. We each have our own area in the house that we blitz, which is just straighten up. So they do that, I do that. I get whatever I'm cooking, I get it going, get it started. And now it's like an hour later, 4 o'clock. 4 to 6, my time. So 4 to 6 is their exploration time, as you would call it, their free time. Go be free. And so they're usually outside with friends, in the pool, hanging out with daddy. This is also the time that we have boxing and swim practice and dance and basketball and all the things, all the extracurricular activities and all the extra stuff. It has to be housed between that time. Honestly, between the 3 to 6 times. Sometimes we don't get our deep clean time, so daddy will have to take them away, and so I have to deep clean by myself. But for the most part, we try to keep it between 4 to 6. 6 o'clock is honored, guys. 6 to 8 is our prep for tomorrow time, our clean up the house time, our family worship time, bath time, dinner time. It is evening routine. I feel like evening routine is not talked about enough. If you'd like to see a video on what our evening routine looks like and how it's structured, please let me know in the comments and I will do a video on that. I just think an evening routine is so important. It sets you up for an awesome rest of your day. And so I do want to say we homeschool in a way that is structured but flexible, as balanced as possible, allowing us to be good stewards of our time. I'm able to be peacefully present when we are doing our read aloud time, because I know that the time for me to do the laundry is coming. The time for me to cook dinner is coming. Matter of fact, dinner has already been planned out for in the time that dinner was planned out for. So we homeschool this way because it allows us to be a better steward of our time. Is it always this perfect? No. Is it ever this perfect? No. But is it better than what it was? Yes. Does it allow us to jump back into routine whenever we jump out because we have a routine established? Yeah, it really, truly does. So I am a naturally lazy person that has to be incredibly intentional about all the things that have been entrusted to me. I have to be ridiculously intentional about all the things that I need to balance as a homeschooling mom because I'm lazy. So subscribe, hit the notification bell for more videos on how to be productive and be a good steward of your time and find peaceful presence. If you'd like to see a day in the life of how all this works, click this button right here. And until next time, bye. Don't forget to watch the playlist down below and let all of them know that you came from my channel.